Welcome to Bruce Lee of Dog Psychology. What a war! This is your host, Zed King. So today, guys, we're gonna tackle what are the signs of a really bad dog trainer. What are the signs of a great dog trainer? The rare qualities of a good dog trainer. So my qualification, guys, I've done this over 30 years. I've trained thousands and thousands of dogs. I've had a lot of trainers working for me. So I'm the trainer's trainer. I've trained a lot of trainers, where they went on their own. So I meet a lot of miniature Zeddies out there. And yeah, it's okay. You have to pass the knowledge, right? A lot of trainers, guys, will be mad when they watch this because I'm really exposing them, exposing their flaws, their weaknesses, their scams. All right, so there's 5 qualities you want to look for or avoid or, be on the lookout for. The first one, guys, is see if you like the person. What kind of vibe you get when you talk to them from their website, from their business card, word of mouth helps, of course, but then you gotta see, do they have a website? Do they have Yelp reviews? Yelp is really crucial, guys. Yelp reviews, guys, are hard to get. They're not Google. So I have over 205 stars on Yelp. I have 1-star soup. You can read my 1-star, read my response. In fact, a lot of people went with me from my 1-star. They knows like how I explain myself, the case, they went based on that. So if someone doesn't have a website, doesn't have any Yelp reviews, I don't know. I would be leery, really. 205 stars, guys, is a lot of work, so even doggy daycares don't have that much, vets don't have that much, kennels, and they deal with 20-30 dogs per day, right? So that's important. Another thing is, see how they handle your questions. Do you get a good vibe from them? So what does your intuition tells you? Remember, intuition and anxiety are not the same thing, so make sure you don't have anxiety. Intuition is good, but always back it up with facts. Dog trainers, guys, are famous for treating people like dogs. They're really, a lot of them are jerks. A lot of women are in this field. They're not good people. They're not punctual. They're not responsive. If your dog acts up in the class, they say, control your dog, control your dog. What, why you think I'm here? I know my dog needs help. They don't have good people skills. Dog trainers usually don't have people skills. And they always dress up like a hobo. Like, notice how nice I look here? I try to look presentable. I remember my mom, when we were kids, whenever she would go to the bank or like a government office, she would always dress nicely. And when I always ask her, like, why are you doing that? And she said, if you don't dress nice and don't clean up well, nobody takes you seriously. And it's so true. People are highly visual. Now, I'm not going to go to a lesson like this, but dog trainers, usually they look like a homeless. They dress like a homeless, even if they have money. It doesn't matter. All right. So I'll give you a few more examples, guys, like how much your personality makes a difference, guys. So there was a dog trainer that I love his classes. I learned so much from him. This was back in the 90s. And I asked him, like, man, you make really, you're so good in teaching. And I learned so much from you. I'm going to refer some clients to, because I was a dog trainer then too, right? I've been doing it a long time. And he said, we don't give a shit if you do or you don't. Now listen to that. Listen to that response. See, this is what I'm talking about, like dog trainers, like how they are, and then you don't want a dog trainer that is really good, really has a good personality, but they can't show you nothing. That she's so amazing, she's so sweet, she's so nice. You're paying for results, remember, you're paying for results, okay? So I'm a single guy. I went on a date, guys, with this person, and well, let me go back up a little bit. So I got a call from this client that signed up with me. It's like, we heard from you from Katina, I said, what, Karina? And like Katrina, like Katrina, Karina, you mean? Katrina, I couldn't hear. And then he said, Katina. He said, Karina. Karina is the name of my ex. Like, she will never refer me over her dead body. So it was Katina. Katina, the name really stood out. And, she's a counselor, therapist, very nice, So we went on 2 dates. Of course, we didn't hit it off like that, but she was impressed with my personality, my character. She was comfortable enough to put her reputation on the line and recommended me to someone. And this guy, signed up with me. And he actually watches my channel. Real nice guy. This shepherd needed help. Really, really, like one of the craziest dog I ever worked with. Like wanted to bite me, already bit a person actually, bite dogs, like anything that moved. Like really, really crazy shepherd. So we're making really huge progress. So what I'm saying is your character, your personality matter, right? No matter what you do, no matter what field you're in. So first of all, see if you like that person, if you like him, the other thing is you got to watch out, like, okay, in the group classes, you're going to get distracted. You're going to be ignored. Can you put up with 6 or 8 weeks of that nonsense? The reason I say that almost all dog trainers teach group classes. Ask yourself, how are you being treated in this class? Are you being ignored? Are you really accomplishing what you asked for? Remember, group classes cannot help you with bad habits or problem solving. They can help you with jumping up, play biting, barking, separation anxiety, potty training, the dog being overprotective with dogs, with people, with strangers, counter surfing, if the dog chases cats, fence fighting with a neighbor's dog, bolting out the door. Group classes cannot and will not help you with that, no matter how good that dog trainer is. They can't. They have to do one-on-one or house calls. So keep that in mind, okay? The second thing, guys, okay, so before I move on, so you got to find a trainer that actually does more, over delivers, like that makes a difference. So was this other dog trainer, I had a client that hired me. Her dog was so crazy that I had to go get the dog from the kennel. They said, come get this dog. We can't work with this dog. We can't touch it. You got to come get the dog. And I said, well, I can't. It's not my dog. I got to call the owner. The owner wasn't around. The owner was in a different state. So poor woman said, go get the key. This is the key. Go get my dog. If you don't mind stopping by, train the dog, take it to my house and take the dog out, feed it, if you don't mind. I said, sure. I don't usually do that. And what I did is, she didn't know, poor woman didn't know that someone would stop by. There was a lot of dishes, in her kitchen. I washed her dishes. Did she ask me that? Of course not. But I did it just to be nice. So what I mean is, you want to find someone that does more, that over delivers. That's really, really like quality of someone that you can tell this person is actually doing their best. They go overboard to please, Okay. The next thing, guys, the second one that you want to make sure that you want to avoid is the dog trainers that say, don't correct the dog. Don't correct the dog. So if the dog, for example, goes and attacks dogs, they say, ignore it, just stop, ignore, don't say nothing. I promise you that's what they're saying. I know to a lot of you is like, how is that possible? That makes no sense. They say ignore it. If the dog's barking, they say ignore it, don't say nothing. When the dog stops barking, then say good boy. So the dog can look at it like, I barked my head off, I kept barking, and then when I was done, my mom said, good boy, good girl. When they jump on you, they say just ignore, cross your arm, ignore, turn to the side, ignore. That's not correction, guys. That's not dog training. Ignoring means doing nothing. Ignoring means doing nothing. Ignoring means, like, I might as well don't even hire a dog trainer. So a lot of dog trainers say that, The next one, guys, you got to be watch out for is, it's the same thing, guys. They say don't say no to the dog. So the dog trainers say ignore bad habits. If the dog charges, lunges at people or dog, just hold it still, make it sit. Well, what if the dog's not sitting? Make it look at you, watch me. Does your dog need to look at you? Think about it. Does your dog need to make eye contact, or the dog needs to shut up? The dog needs to calm down. The dog needs to shut up. So that's more important, guys, than sit and say, The dog gotta have manners first than obedience. The dog gotta be polite more. Polite manners is more important than obedience. Just like us, right? Like us. You see someone's personality first. Someone could be a doctor or engineer, could have their PhD, but they could be a jerk, right? So you get to really look at that, like, okay, what's going on? Does this make sense to you or not? Okay. The next one, guys, is you gotta look at like, do they recommend harnesses? Harnesses don't train the dog, it restrains them. Do they recommend regular collar? Do they recommend, martingale? Do they recommend stretchy leash? All these things don't work, guys. So you want to work with a dog trainer that gives you the flexibility. Like, okay, my dog doesn't listen to this. Maybe I should try a pinch collar. So if they don't mention pinch collar, guys, they don't mention some dogs need shock collar, they have closed mind, they don't have open mind. So I'll give you another example, guys. I didn't use shock collar for years, didn't recommend it, didn't say nothing, because I don't want to be known as the dog trainer that uses and recommends shock collar. There was a dog, they brought an American Eskimo to me, and this was years ago, guys, years ago, like I would say 25, 28 years ago. And this dog was so cute, it just would not come back to you. Once the dog was gone, he was gone. He'd not. So I would always tell the owner, like, make sure you work with a long rope, reel it in. Oh, say good boy, give it a treat. They would learn, they would learn. I knew I'm bullshitting myself. I knew I'm bullshitting the client. I knew that dog needs a shock collar because the dog knew when he's on leash, when he's off leash, and he wouldn't come. He would not come. And that's how they do it with hunting dogs. They send the dog and the dog's on a shock collar. If the dog doesn't come back, they zap him and the dog comes back or brings the bird with him, blah, blah, blah. So I trained this dog. It was a board and train. I love that dog. My dog loved that dog. I wanted to keep that dog. His name was Nanook. It was really cute. Nanook means polar bear. And then I called the client after, a week, like, how are they doing? Because my boot camp comes with follow-up. So I tell them, like, you want me to come to you, show you more stuff? And she said, no, Zed, we took the dog to the pound. We put him down. I said, what? Like, yeah, we put him down. I said, what do you mean? Why? What happened? Did he bite someone? Like, no, he kept running off. He wouldn't come back. We've had enough of it. We've had enough of it. We can't live like that. We went and, he almost got hit by a car, and I said, I lost it. I said, you fucking bitch. I love that dog. Why did you do that? And she was all quiet. I said, they put the dog down over that? Like, the dog wasn't even aggressive. And she said, yeah, no, I said to put him down. After that, guys, I decided to mention shock collar. So I let you decide. I will mention it. Like, this dog needs a shock collar. I'm good, not God. I'm good, not God. This dog needs a shock collar. Then I will leave it up to the client. Okay? It's your dog, your life, your decision. So, or your headache, right? Like, you need shock collars, guys, usually for barking. The dog will not shut up. I don't care how much you work with him. I don't care how much you stimulate his mind. You give him toys. The dog, like, I'll shut up whenever I want to. Whining, barking, scratching, bolting to go after a cat, fence fighting with a neighbor's dog, guarding something, all these you need a shock collar, guys. You do. I'm sorry, you do. No one else can do it. If the dog like guarding something, chasing something, grabbing something, you try to get it and they bite you, you need a shock collar, guys. I don't know what else you expect. And the last thing is you want to find out a dog trainer that, guys, has good follow-ups, like, what's the plan? Like, okay, if it's not working, what's the backup? Like, my boot camp comes with follow-ups. I don't leave you hanging. There's one that we meet in the park, somewhere neutral. There's one I go to your house. There's one that has all of the above. I don't just do, okay, 6 or 8 weeks, then you're on your own. I don't do that. I give you lifetime. Lifetime of the dog, not you. Don't be slick. Lifetime of the dog, right? For as long as you own your dog, you can use it. Because your dog will go to different stages. Your dog may be good and all of a sudden it will get really aggressive or very stubborn. Adolescent stage, they'll be very hyper, very, they get bigger, just stronger, faster, smarter. Like, oh my God, it's not a little puppy. So you want to make sure you will go with a trainer that has good follow-ups, right? What else? So I think that's it for now, guys. So 5 things you got to remember, guys. Make sure that you like their personality. Make sure you don't find a trainer that says don't say no to the dog. No is okay. They say just don't say no. What's wrong with no? You were raised with no. Your parents, like your dog already thinks his middle name in the first name is no. So your dog thinks no Boomer, no, no Daisy, no. His first and last name is no. Already your dog thinks that. So you gotta say no differently, right? You gotta say no. Sometimes you gotta say no. You can't go no like that. That sounds like a request. All right. I think that covered it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. There's more info on my website. That's dogsecrets.com. I still offer doggy boot camp and house calls in California. All right. Peace out.